Hey traders, welcome to the new edition of the Crypto Lab with Alex, every Thursday on part of the trading analysis. As you know, trading analysis is stock, forex, and cryptocurrency trading firm. So we are providing with the actionable analysis and trades that we do on all of these assets classes. And this one is designated to show you what we see on a crypto space. Please confirm me that the sound is great or good. I see sound is great. Oh, okay, good. Finally, guys. Actually, there was a small button in the OBS studio that we use, which is very difficult to find. And I finally checked out this because we checked everything that was existing. And I hope this will work. And I'm glad it's worked. Great. So we solved that. So let's continue and let's start immediately to see our outlook on the latest developments in few of the cryptos. As well, we will touch a little bit of macro analysis. We will look at dollar index and we will look also a little bit of gold. And we will look the latest news in cryptos and some of the other altcoins that are moving currently. Let's start with CoinDesk news. Usually I look there for the new news in crypto space. Today the main news is that Coinbase received the SEC stamp of approval for public listing. So this is the first one which will go in public for kind of an IPO, and that's a very good news because crypto space and companies involved in are starting to penetrate a kind of a broader audience, especially here getting listed on the Nasdaq. So the other news that we are seeing across the space is that Microstrategy bets another 1 billion on Bitcoin. And I think that will be all. We have seen also some of the XRP accounts for the public court the issue they have, and they're on trial for that purposely alleged issuing of stock. How the regulator in the U.S. disposed it in the court case. So I think that will first come, and the first hearings will be around June, July. So I think we will spend some more time in having news on that. And we also see that NVIDIA, this was interesting, estimates Ethereum miners contributed 2 to 6% of the Q4 revenues. Well, that's not surprising because the NVIDIA is supplying the graphic cards, but this is a kind of a first estimate of how much of the some of the cryptos are contributing to their revenues in Q4. Okay, so that's for the news for today. We also seen last week some of the comments on the crypto and the Bitcoin regards to Janet Yellen. And we also see this Tether settlement, which happened a few days ago, regarding the accusations and the Tether thing that I think you already have been heard of. That's already behind. So I will say that we have seen a kind of a half divided news for the cryptos and against the cryptos. So I think this will continue until this space finds its merits in a broader open audience all around the world. So let's dive in. Let's look a little bit first of a macro space. Let's look firstly the dollar index. As you know, we are tracking this last move down in dollar. So we are looking for from the 2020 March, when the COVID crisis hit and when the Fed actually lowered very fastly interest rates. On the dollar, we are seeing a continuing weakness on the dollar index to the downside as we are using the Elliott wave model for our analysis in trading analysis. So we are counting this move down as a wave 1, up in wave 2, very nice fib ratio, which we usually use for the move down in a wave 3, pullback in a wave 4, and we are now tracking this last sequence, which should find probably lows around 88 levels. It is still not clear here, guys. We penetrated this very important support level here this morning, but we need to continue lower a little bit more to confirm the existence of this orange wave 3. So we are looking for one more push to the downside, but I would like to see a little bit more advance here so I can log this wave count almost a kind of a 90 or 80% of probability that we are going to see a further continuation to the downside, although I think that there's not much left, maybe 1.5%, 2% to the downside, when we are going to see I think a strong reversal from the dollar side on the upside in this potential corrective pullback in the ABC, targeting 96 to, let's say, 98 levels. So that will be my zone where I will be looking upon a confirmation and seeing a clear 5 waves on the upside. That by that dollar will confirm its reversal, and I'm going to look for a 3-way move in some form or the other, and that we are going to go some around these levels, which we already mentioned. I have an alternative wave count, which says actually that this move on the upside already started. It is very difficult sometimes in these last sequences to address the possible lows. As you can see, 89 or some around close, I will say at 89.16 was the last lows. So we are trading now around 89.90. So it is very close from these lows here. And I will still keep this until we pass this low for a possible surprise on the upside if we see some type of a 1 and a possible flat in 2 and then a continuation on the upside. So anyhow, the conclusion, guys, here is that according to our view, we are very close to some potential lows. Even if we have a little bit more downside, that will be not too much. And when that is complete, we are going to see a larger pullback on the upside in dollar index. Let's visit what's going on gold. Gold was subject regarding the yields moving up and the gold moving down. And to my view, I look this move, which I have corrected. I have seen many comments regarding the complex corrections, but usually I display the idea when you see these complex developments, you can actually label this as a triple zigzag in the ABC WXY, another X, which are connectors to get these longer corrections kind of stuck together. And then we have a 5-way move down in A. Possibly we still can have a flat up in B, or we can continue lower to these levels. This is still unclear to me, but in general, I think that all of this is pretty much corrective for now. In my view, I don't see any impulsive sequence to the downside. Most of these moves are in 3 waves, especially when you look this part here. So I'm kind of thinking that this is a very well drawn out correction, which will last for some time. And when we have this level reached around 1,650, 1,600, so some around in this area, I will also look for signs that potentially from there we might continue higher with the gold moving on the upside. So that's our view on the gold chart. This is the lesser degree wave 4. My larger term wave count on the gold, it's still allowing some of the lags on the upside with corrections, smaller and bigger corrections ahead. As you know, all of the Elliott wave, we know that markets are now by experience and many examples that markets are behaving exactly as these patterns, but the combination of these patterns are always a changing thing because markets are alive. So we like to put the closest approximation or hypothesis which we are going to confirm by our confirmation signals, which are relatively clear and can give you the idea about reversals and the continuation patterns. For now, I have this as a 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm expecting a wave 3, 4, and 5, then a bigger correction in wave 4, and a further continuation on the upside in gold. For now, as long as we trade above this wave 1 highs, this is an impulsive structure, which means that we are going to see more legs on the upside when this correction is over. Okay, so let's move to cryptos. I know that you are all waiting to see the latest Bitcoin wave count. We are going to start, as always, on the larger time frame. As you know, we are going to look what's going on a weekly chart. And as the things are moving relatively slowly on weekly, for now, we don't have any reason to change this bullish outlook on the Bitcoin. From the beginning, as you can see, the sequence on the upside is developing very nicely and impulsively. So from 2010 lows, which are a little bit below, I will try to push it a little bit on the upside. We are seeing a nice Elliott wave pattern developing, and we are looking for this orange wave 3 fib ratios. As I said, we are using the idealized patterns, and then we adjust as the pattern evolves and morphs, which is a usual thing for the markets. So we are counting this as a 1, 2, a wave 3, 4, and 5, and we are looking for a finish of these 5 wave patterns in this wave 3. So as you can see, there is no clear, there is no at all overlaps. We are seeing a very nice corrections here, which are not touching each other, which is for us a sign that impulsive wave on the upside is still ongoing. And if we make a little bit of a closer up, we are looking for a further development on the upside. We count this as a 1, 2. Current move on the upside, we are counting as a wave 3. This green wave 3, which rests around usual fib ratios, but as we know in Elliott wave, the market is fractal, so this wave 3 needs to subdivide in a further wave 5 development, and we are having that on a lesser degree in a wave 1, 2, up in 3, 4, and 5. So the trend is well on the upside as long as we trade above this 13,826, which will be a wave count invalidation. There is a certain rules applying Elliott wave methodology, and one of them, if you don't have a leading or ending diagonals, is that wave 4, which we have here, cannot enter the territory of wave 1. If these things on the downside do so, then the wave count is nullified, and you need to look for some other solutions in combinations of these patterns, which are basically reflecting the psychology of the market participants overall. As you know, we announced last week that we are seeing a potential of a move down in Bitcoin from 52 to 56 region. We had a move down from close to 58, which was a relatively small miss. But I'm still kind of looking here. I didn't do any positions, so this is a smaller time frame where we are going to kind of trying to decipher this sequence here. Okay, so we are looking what is going on after this move lower. So I'm going to do a close-up on 1 hour, or we can go on a 3-hour chart first. So this is the big development in this green wave 3, which you cannot see. You saw it on the weekly. So let's try to see what is going on here. On this wave count, I have this orange wave 3 actually anchored here, and I'm still observing what is going on. So we fell down from 58 264 on this crypto compare data down to these support levels around 45,000. You can count this as a leading diagonal. If you go on a smaller time frame, you can see that there is an overlap between the wave 4 and wave 1. So you can structure that as a leading diagonal, and current advance is still not impulsive on the upside. So I'm going to put here a wave count invalidation on this stop. There is several patterns how this can develop. Maybe I'm wrong on this wave count, kind of interpreting this as a leading diagonal. Maybe we are in a longer triangle, which will result with the one move higher. So I'm going to wait a little bit for I think we are in a no man's land for the moment. On this wave count, I'm going to stay bearish, and I'm going to count this as an ABC W, X, and looking for a little bit more upside in this zone here, where I see a resistance around equality between these two legs. And I also have a 786 retracement of this move down. So for us, any move above 786, except the flat, will be the last resort retracement. And if we see a move above it, we will actually abandon a bearish wave count and looking for a move up to 127 extension, which will going to be somewhere around in this area. So this area, I think it's going to be key. For now, we don't see a 5-wave move bounce. As you can see, we have seen here only 3 waves, and we have seen a complex move down exactly in 3 waves again. And we are seeing now a possibility for a little bit more move on the upside. But for now, this is not a bullish sequence in this moment. Okay, so that's why I'm kind of a little bit cautious. I would like to put some position on it when I see a confirmation and rejection of this level and moving below the support level. That will increase the probability that we are going to continue lower on our original wave count, which kind of projects a simple ABC correction down to the previous 4th wave of the lesser degree, which is a usual support, and down to 38% retracement when you look the wave 2 and wave 4. So I think there is a very strong support if we continue lower around 30,000. I will look still for a 5-wave sequence here, which will come down to, let's say, 35, 37 levels, pull back in a wave B, which usually comes around 50% retracement. So let's see, between 45 and 48,000, and then I will look for another move down in the C leg, which will give us equality of these two legs, which we called in technical analysis as a measured move. You can do a few tricks more, but for now, this is just a hypothesis because I don't even have a five-wave move lower. So I'm just kind of playing with it. I like to have some scenarios, and this is one of the scenarios I will be looking for as a possibility if we continue lower. So we had a move down, but I think we are in a no man's land, and that will be my conclusion. Nevertheless, I would like to present you also with one more wave count, which is in the case we are going bullish. Always I'm not so I'm not taking pride in my wave count, so I'm always going to take a possibility. Maybe I made some mistake in some of the counting waves, which is always possible, and then this will be just a 3-wave move, and this thing will develop on a higher, and as I said, 786, which is some around 54 levels, will be a clear sign that we are going to continue higher if we break 786, but I don't think even in the bullish outcome we have much on the upside left. So in any case, either now, very soon, uh, if we are going to see a penetration of this 44, 45 levels on the downside, or if we're going to stage one more move on the upside, I think we are going to face another strong resistance. And definitely, even if we're going to account this scenario, we're going to see a big pullback further down for this wave 4, either in a triangle, complex, or a simple corrective pullback. I must say also one more thing. Ethereum has a relatively cleaner wave count, and I will explain you why. So on Ethereum, we are seeing something which we don't see on a Bitcoin, because on a Bitcoin we put it a leading diagonal, which means that the wave 4 entered the territory of the wave 1. On Ethereum, we don't see that. We actually see a clear 5-wave sequence with no overlap. So there is no any overlap between wave 1 and wave 4, as you can see here. So we are still going to look as a possible 3-wave move or a little bit more complex. So Ethereum kind of holds me that potentially we might see a reversal from here or a little bit more upside. And my resistance on Ethereum is around 1,820, from where I would like in this region, would like to see a continuation down and a potential resolution in this wave 3, 4, and 5 for the first sequence of the correction, wave B pullback, and then a wave C, which will be the orange wave 4, as the same in a Bitcoin, since these two are correlated almost 0.85% or close to 1, depends mathematically how you look at it, but they have a high correlation coefficient, Ethereum and a Bitcoin. So let's look also some of the other coins that I have prepared. Let me just find it. I have here a little bit developed wave count on Binance Coin. I'm going to present you also Polkadot. I know that on some platforms you have seen a big spikes on the downside, especially I think on Kraken. Ethereum touched around 700, 800, but on the others, that week down was not present. So I'm not going to include that into analysis because that doesn't represent the whole liquidity pool. So I will disregard them. So don't be surprised if you see the charts without these big wicks, which we saw, and the bars on the downside. So this is the Polkadot. As I said, we were bullish with our members from this small triangle here, which we saw, I think it was a few weeks ago. Let me just see where it was on February 1. And we took a stance. We're going to continue higher for this possible wave 5, which actually happened. That was a relatively, I must say, not very difficult wave count if you see how this progression on the upside was very well constructed. From the lows, we have a nice move up in a wave 1, we have a 3 waves in a wave 2, then we have a leading diagonal and expanding variety in a wave, a lesser degree 1, down in 2, very nice 5-wave subdivision in the orange wave 3, pullback in the orange wave 4 in a triangle manner, and then we reached a very nice Fib cluster ratios here. So when you do a higher degree Fib ratio, usually we look for a 200 or 1618, which is here. Rarely we do 2618 on the upside, which is much higher, around 98. And we seen in cryptos also possibility we go to 423, which is a much higher on the upside. But in this case, I think this pairs very well. with this nice fib cluster. This is a 0.618 ratio, how we actually determine a possibility and relation of this wave 5 and its target. And as you can see, they correspond very nicely, almost in a very small differences here, which tells us that this is going to be a relatively nice resistance area, and I think it's going to hold. And I'm going to expect a pullback in this wave 4, which is going to potentially finish around the area of the previous wave 4, and we're going to see some time elapsed around equality between time elapsed in this wave 2 and this wave 4. And this time function usually works much better when you have it on a larger liquidity assets class. I'm not certain that we have that type of liquidity on Polkadot. I rarely even see it on a Bitcoin, which is now almost close to 1 trillion market cap. And but anyhow, I sometimes put it as a time orientation. Sometimes this ratio in cryptos works. So I think this correction will maybe take some time until Polkadot rests and then continues on the upside with a projection of some targets between 49 to 103. So I think there is a very nice, very textbook Elliott wave pattern here. Wave count invalidation here is at 6. We are trading at 34 now with highs around 43. So I think if we see this correction unfolds, I think it's going to be a good opportunity for me to buy some for a future anticipation of this very nice impulsive sequence in the wave 5 on the upside. So for me, in this moment, this pattern is very well defined, respects a very nice fib ratios. It subdivides very well in the third wave. It's subdivided very well in the wave 1 and the wave 2. So all of the signs are there. The RSI is moving down on this daily chart. On a weekly, I think it has a still on the upside, and it is around 92, which is a very high reading. So I think we go down back to the, let's say, 70, 73, and then climb again to reach this wave 5, where we are going to see probably a divergence in the RSI while this is developing. And I forgot to point you that we are seeing now this divergence on a Bitcoin. Okay, so even on a weekly level, I usually don't use much RSI except of this divergence things. But if you look the weekly chart, you will see clearly that here the wave 3 highs in the RSI around 95 was then actually moving lower. So we have a lower high, while in price we have a higher high, which is clearly a divergence, which means that the trend is waning. And usually in the Elliott wave world, you will see this divergence appearing between the wave 3 and the wave 5 on some degree, on some level. This one is weekly, which is very strong. And I see that I think that the same thing we might see here with this RSI on Polkadot. Okay, so Binance Coin. Okay, let's see the Binance Coin. Hi Dogen, how are you? Hey Mullah, Euro dollar. I don't know if gonna have a time. I think it's on the very crucial point now. I explained dollar index. You just flip it because the 57% of dollar index is actually Euro dollar. So let me see, guys, what you have around here. Oh, hey, Epic, hey, enemy. Glad the sound is good. Nice. Hope we finally solved that question. A very funny comment. Last time, some of the listeners actually asked me from my Ethereum wallet to send me a few tens of Ethereum to buy new headphones. That was awesome, dude. So very nice comment. Keep it going like that. I like a nice humor, so it's very welcomed. Like my haircut. Thanks, Lee. Yeah, I think my hairdresser overreacted this time, but I think the spring is coming, so what the hell. Okay, thanks, Todd. Todd is here, my boss and leader of trading analysis. Thank you, man. I hope it is going good. Let's look a little bit of Binance Coin. Okay, I have a chart on a Binance Coin for you guys. Let me just spend a second with the Dogen. What do you think about the BTC after complete macro wave 1? What does it mean, a macro wave 1? I don't understand that. So can you just type it, maybe clarified? When we will talk about macro wave 2, how much deep can go, and in the terms of a time, to talk about the macro wave 2, I need to understand what is the macro wave 1. Wave 1 is for 10 years. Will we have a 6 to 10 years for macro wave 2? Oof, man, these are the really rocking questions. I mean, it goes far in the future. I don't like to project myself that much in the future. Definitely, we have a nice bullish pattern, so I will take it one time. I mean, we can talk about that in a few years if we are still here on a YouTube and discussing cryptos. But I see what you mean. So that's even more than a primary cycle level, kind of a super cycle level. And I think we don't have enough data for now to discuss this issue. But I mean, in general, if you follow the Elliott wave form, you should see a wave 1 up and a wave 2 down. Hey, Morn, how are you, man? Any fishes? How wasn't the fishing? Morn is our member from Australia, and he regularly fishes in the most beautiful beaches in Australia. So he sends us picture, and we are like, oh man, you are enjoying your life. Okay, so let's see a Binance Coin. Binance Coin, I took up this data. It's actually from Binance crypto platform. So this is the Binance crypto platform connected to the MotiveWave. So MotiveWave is the software which we use to analyze very quickly lots of assets classes in the Elliott wave manner. And I think it's one of the awesome tools up there, especially for Elliotticians. It has so incredible features. And by using this tool, we can, a few years back, I think MotiveWave got in 2011 a first appearance. Before that, we were doing this by kind of a clicking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and doing this fib ratio. It was almost hell on earth. But now, with a few clicks, we can easily construct something that which we can work on, and then we can speed up the process and analyze so many charts in a short span of time. So awesome tool. Check it out, MotiveWave website. So let's look at the Binance coin. So Binance, I think, looking at this data, is in this 1-2-1-2 situation. And I think it is wise. From my perspective, I'm trying to construct some small portfolio of the possible cryptos which I would like to hold in the future for a longer period of time. And I think definitely that in that portfolio will be some small part of this Binance, because I think that the cryptos will progress further, and the Binance, as one of the biggest brokers, will actually have a larger participation more and more in liquidity and in clients, so their profit will grow. So you can look at it simply as a company, And in projections of how the crypto traders are moving on the upside, millennials also, and we have also living in technology age more and more, I think the interesting cryptos will start to be, of course, elevating on the upside. So I think there is a quite reason to my logic that this coin will actually move on the upside. So with all of that, I constructed this wave count, which I don't think it's so bad. So we have a wave one, wave two down, and then we have another one too, which is a relatively bullish subdivision, which I must say is confirmed here. Okay, we are seeing a great move on the upside in this wave three, which is a confirmation since we know the characteristics of some of the sequences because they have their character, how they display, and this one is relatively almost a 90-degree angle, which kind of tips you off. You are in a third of a third on the upside, which is, I think, exactly that. We also don't have a degree violation. Degree violation is one of the Elliott wave features, which is kind of disputed, but I think it's very reasonable. And this wave degree in violation will mean that you cannot have 1 2 1 2, and a secondary wave 2 can be more in depth on the downside in value than the first wave 2, which kind of has its logic. If you are projected some explosive move on the upside, you should not have a wave degree differences. Actually, this wave 2, by that logic, should be shorter than this pullback here, and I measured these two, and it's fine. So I'm looking this as an orange wave 3. So I think we are still in this wave 3 sequence. I think we're going to see some pullbacks in the next, let's say, up down in the next few, maybe a year. I cannot say exactly, but it's going to be a relatively big range. And if you can see some projections here, green wave 3, it's far, it goes from this 560, this is on the log scale, to 1200. I don't think that's unreasonable price for the company which is actually having more and more clients and has more and more volumes of trading. So I will structure it like this. So maybe a pullback down in a wave 4. We reached 1618 here. If you project this one wave 2 to get a target for the wave 3, there is a 5-wave sequence. We maybe see a pullback while other cryptos also do so, and then we might see a completion of this orange wave 3, and then another pullback, which might also be a triangle. It doesn't have to be so directional. We can use this guideline of alternation. So this was a directional. Maybe we're going to fall into a relatively longer triangle here, and then we're going to have a break further on the upside, and then a larger degree correction. For me, this chart is bullish. Depends how you treat your entries, but on investment time frame, I would look at it as potential further on the upside with a few bumps on the road. So I think it's quite reasonable. Okay, yeah, smash the thumbs up, guys. Give us visibility on the YouTube. Maybe some other people would like to see our analysis and kind of look at it as a guidance. So let's look some of your charts. Do I have something else? Yeah, I'm looking this Aave. As you know, DeFi space is growing. I'm still not clear. This looks like a two-wave pullback, but I will still not bet on it, guys. I will give it a little bit more time. I need some confirmation. But whoa, look at what this Aave did. It's amazing. There is a nice kind of a so big move on the upside from lows. So let's measure it. I like it. So let's see. It's a 2,340%, I think, move on the upside. Amazing. From 0 to 560, almost 600. Amazing run. So I think this pullback has its merits. If you go so big, you need time to rest. I don't know if this is rested enough. You can count this as a WXY and correction finished. We came in the territory of the previous lesser degree wave 4. But I will just stay a little bit more conservative. I will not say that this was a low because I don't have a confirmation on the upside. I will still play around that even we might get a little bit more complex here down to this 240, 300 levels from where we might possibly continue on the confirmation on the upside. So I will give it a little bit more leeway to develop. Okay, so let's see some of your requests, guys. Cake. Everybody's asking, what is Cake Bus D? I don't know what is Cake Bus D. Alpha Finance. Okay, I will look for Alpha Finance. Yeah, this is the sushi swap. Relatively nice pattern. Still developing. Nice impulsive move on the upside. So let's look Alpha. Alpha Finance Lab Dollar. Whoa, nice chart. From 0.026 to 159. Ooh, good move. So let's try to decipher this. Clearly, there is a wave 1, and we are looking for a potential development in a wave 3. Wave 3 may be finished. Maybe this correction will go further, and then we need to have a 5-wave sequence. And then what we do usually, we put this fib ratios here. The only thing I'm afraid here, and I want to see more of the sideways, because here we have a measured move. Okay, I never like to see a measured move stop. Whatever I look for the wave 3, I want to see an extension up to 1618. When I see a measured move, it is possible, but it's less common that you're going to have a wave 3, 1 and 3 equal, and then you're going to see an extension in a wave 5. That usually happens in a commodities. It happens in other assets classes, but less frequently. So I will say either this wave 3 is not finished, so you should be very careful if you are exposed to this one. There is a small 5-wave move on the downside, so be careful until this have a clear clearance of this equality level and further continuation on the upside to confirm its bullish structure. I mean, this is still a beginning on this Alpha Finance Lab, so if you're going to see a 5-wave sequence, you will always have a chance to go in on some type of a pullback for a further continuation. So potentially a good chart, not yet. Potentially a move on the upside to this 9.8280, 9.80 levels, but still we don't see that. So I will just be a little bit more cautious in looking this 5-wave move and possible continuation to the downside if this was just some type of an ABC move and we finish lower. So still not ripe. Usually in Elliott wave we call this not very matured kind of a wave development. I would like also to see a wave 4 kind of a meandering a sideways sequence, and then my conclusion might be different. Okay, I hope you are pleased with that. Let's see, what is this cake thing? I know the cake, but cake, but I know the crypto pancake, of course. Yeah, pancake is moving, whoa, on the upside. That's for now very bullish wave count chart, but still I want to see a 5-wave development. So if we take this as a wave 1, we go up in 2, 3, 4 and 5. Let me just correct this. Sometimes when you use other platforms than multi-wave, they're not so quite handy. So on a pancake, I would like to see a further same thing. So I want to see more of an upside for this wave 3, since wave 1 was very long. Maybe wave 3 can in this case reach equality, and then we see a pullback and a further continuation. So still the same thing, when you have these cryptocurrencies in these early stages, when you don't have much to work with, when you have only 3 legs or 2 legs, there is not much you can say. I mean, this is a clearly bullish development, but I want to see a confirmation. I want to see a probability increase in my favor, and I'm not gonna jump into the market because it's going up or down. So I want to very carefully plan my risk, and on the longer term, that will be a payable, patient investment. So why to rush? Market is working every day. There is so many charts, so many cryptos. So you can find maybe a better setup. Depends, are you an investor or a swing trader? So I'm still gonna wait on this one as I'm concerned. Okay, so let's look one more. Theta. Theta is a known one. So let's look how this one is developing. Theta clearly in a bullish pattern, as you can see. Very nice development from this. Okay, so let's do some of the measurements, like let's see in which state theta is according to our tools, our mathematics, and universal laws. Well, it's a nice, as you can see, equality is passed here, so we can look for potentially a smaller pullback, because I see that these divisions are not so developed on a smaller time frame. So I will look for something like this, which will correspond with other cryptos. So maybe let me just change the degree of this one. Bam, and it's changed. So let's do minus degree. So this is something which I can do very quickly for you guys. So this will be the wave 1 and 2. We passed equality, so I like that. I think that the wave 3 of the lesser degree, maybe it's going to finish soon. We're going to see a pullback and then a further continuation for this larger degree, wave 3. 1618 will be my destination. After, I will expect some type of a wave 4 and 5. So that's a kind of a standard. As you can see, I'm repeating this all over and over. It's a standard Elliott wave pattern. But don't forget, this is just a hypothesis, and the probability that this hypothesis is right on the directional thing and corrections are going to be much bigger when we cross some of these signposts that we are looking in every analysis and preparation for trading. So in that respect, we are kind of getting our edge to have a little bit more upside information than the other participants, using all of these tools and all of these relations that we kind of practice for a very long time. So this one for me, it's developing nicely. Very nice pattern. You can see a subdivisions. There is no overlap. We crossed equality or a measured move. So I think probability is great that this type of a wave count might unfold in a near future. Okay, theta, we've seen theta. I don't know, there is ADA and Lux. So we are 50 minutes. I always go far, guys. I'm carried away. So let's look two more very quickly and then we are off. We're going to complete this Thursday and see you next one with the new developments. Whoa, nice. Same thing. If you count this, it's a very nice development, very impulsive. So a basic 5-wave sequence is in progress here. We have 5 waves up, 3 waves down, 1, 2, up, and 3. So there is a nice progression on the upside. We're going to throw some key fib ratios here. Equality passed, we are going up. So I think it's similar to pancake or a cake. as you like it. I love pancakes, my God, with Nutella and cream, yummy. So, okay, let's go wave 3. Let's do here a little bit of change of a color. So, very fine, very nice development. I think we're still bullish. I think we're going to see a little bit of pullbacks before we continue higher in the same terms as the pancake. And let's finally look ADA. Everybody's asking about ADA. I already have a wave count on the ADA, and it's pretty similar. From the lows, we are seeing a same nice development. I think soon we will be done in this orange wave 3. We're going to see a pullback. Usually when we do these channels and fib ratios, these channels are kind of a nice support levels, what we look. So as you can put a channel, which is an Elliott wave channel, when you connect the highs of the wave 1 and the lows of the wave 2, you get a channel. And this kind of suggests this pullback will be short-lived, and we're going to see a further upside move on ADA. So ADA is looking also very nicely and very constructively in this first impulse on the upside as we see it. So thank you guys. If I didn't look through your pair, just be patient for the next week. I don't really have much of a time to look everything. Although for our members, we have a nice Discord chat where we kind of change lots of charts because the members has a privilege to have almost all day my views on these developments. We just show you a taste of our service here. So our crypto service, if you can do a trial if you like, just to see how we are doing there. So we have also chart room. We have a members webinar, a very extensive one once a week, where we go through all major cryptos and alts. We are also posting some videos. We have a crypto trade desk where we announce what we trade on the crypto space. We also have a cryptocurrency repository, which is a very interesting feature. If you have a multi-wave, you can have on your multi-wave platform my wave counts. So what I do here, it's immediately displayed on your panel, on your trading platform, and a Discord group, which we are very proud of. Many members are there, where we discuss our new crypto outlooks. We exchange charts, data. As you can see, there is a lot of conversation and news there. So great crypto community here with our members. I'm so pleased to have them, and thank you for them for trusting us and keeping with us. And if you like, you can just do a trial or just kind of a sniff what we do there, and maybe you can become our member. Let's see a little bit for the final word, what a Bitcoin is doing. Let's go on a smaller time frame. Yeah, still the same. Still a three-wave move on the upside. I'm going to be watching this zone, as I said, very carefully, and I'm going to be looking for another push on the upside. If you don't have any attention to become or see our work, you can go to my Twitter handle, which I changed. And it was a Callion FX, which you already see on a Crypto Lab. Here, I have a kind of a TXFX Crypto Lab, this tag. So I post some of the Bitcoin charts or cryptos. So if you like to see some of the not very frequent updates, you can find it there. Thank you for the attention, guys. Have a nice week. And the next Thursday will be the following updates on the crypto space. For now, our analysis from the last week is working. We have seen the drop. The question is the drop going to continue? And I already explained you the signs, what you have to look. If we see a break of this strong support level, I think that we're going to see more downside in the Bitcoin. So I'm going to leave you with that, and see you next week, guys. Bye bye.